What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right. The rumors. Danny Garcia ducks Terrence Crawford, won't take $3 million for that fight. Danny Swift Garcia and Terrence Crawford ain't going to happen no matter how much money. No matter how much money Bob Arum and Top Rank offered Danny Garcia for that fight, Danny Garcia is not taking that fight, okay? So I'm going to talk about that. But look, man, there's two sides to that coin, okay? There's the ducking coin and there's the, hey, man, you made your bed and you got a lie in it side of the coin, too. So I'm going to address both of those. First, though, I want to thank everybody for coming to the channel. If you're subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing and for your support for the videos and for the live streams we do. Thank you so much. And thank you for the donations on Venmo and Patreon and the Super Chat. Thank you very, very much. It really does go a long way to support the youth sports programs that we donate money to from the channel and the athletes that we donate money to on the channel. Thank you so, so much. Now, all right. Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has been in the welterweight division on the PBC side. I'm gonna look at it from the PBC side first and let you know. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to tell you. First, I'm going to tell you that the PBC got a problem right now with these welterweights not fighting each other. Danny Garcia is one of the main perpetrators. Keith Thurman's another main perpetrator. And Sean Porter's a main perpetrator. All right. They've got a problem not fighting each other. And specifically not fighting Errol Spence Jr. What Errol Spence Jr. said about not fighting top rank opponents, not fighting Terrence Crawford, because he's on the other side of the street, didn't sound right. Not a good argument to make. So from a Terrence Crawford's point of view, point of view, I can see why there will be considerable amount of frustration from that. All right. I can see it. I can see it. Danny Garcia not taking that fight. I don't even need to know. Danny Garcia is not going to fight Terrence Crawford. He can't beat Terrence Crawford. And I'm not really seeing Danny Garcia too much of in a hurry to jump in the ring with people that he can't beat. He didn't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. and Errol Spence Jr. is with the PBC. He's with us. He's got the same advisor. They could make that fight quite easy. He didn't want that fight with Errol Spence Jr. He is not the type of dude that seems like he wants to get in the ring with cats that he doesn't think he can beat. Right? And in between taking fights against better fighters that he believes he has a shot to beat, he will fight guys that absolutely have no chance whatsoever beating him. Now, my understanding is that they called Angel Garcia, and Angel Garcia never returned their call. Angel Garcia being Danny Garcia's father, right? And I can believe that. I can believe it. Errol Spence Jr. was calling out Sean Porter, calling out Keith Thurman, called out Danny Garcia. And Danny Garcia said, oh, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. need to fight each other before they fight any of us, because we've all fought each other. And Terrence Crawford needs to prove himself, and Errol Spence Jr. need to prove themselves. Right? He said that. All right. So that's not any news. That's not any big news. The fact that he passed up $3 million, I guess that's some news. But really, I don't believe that's too much less than that's probably not too much more than Danny Garcia got for fighting Bam Bam Rios. So, the way that the PBC thing works, where you see that he gets like $1.5 million for the fight, and then he gets his own promotional thing, and however they work that out, still don't understand that mystery. But since everybody says that that's the case, that's a fighter for PBC, then hey, man, I got to go with that. The Harvard MBA Al Heyman knows what he's doing with that money. Now here, the other side of the coin is this. Terrence Crawford made his bed. He's going to have to lie in it. Now, it's going to be a very plush bed, a king size pillow, a California king size pillow top mattress with silk sheets. And, God, I don't know, his water beds went out in the 1970s, but if he wanted one of those too, he can have that too. With the $3.5 million a fight he's getting for fighting guys like Jose Benavidez or Luis Collazo or Julius Ndungo or whoever he can fight, whoever they find for him to fight over there, Egis Kalvanakis or whoever. He's going to make that money, but he decided to sign with ESPN and Top Rank. It's a good business decision for him in his pocketbook, but I said it when he did it. Many people said it when he did it. That him re-signing with Top Rank when all of the other major welterweights are with the PBC are going to prevent him from, or at the very least, create a major roadblock in him getting a fight with those welterweights. That is something that was obvious. Something that was stated before he re-signed with Top Rank. And it's something that's going to remain the case as long as he's with Top Rank because of the garbage manner in which boxing works. When you have guys that all have a bunch of other fights that make them about the same amount of money against other guys that have belts, there's not a lot of incentive to go over there and split the pot with somebody that is fighting for another promoter. Terrence Crawford is one of the best boxers in the world. He is, as soon as this Rocky Fielding fight happens, God dog it. If Canelo Alvarez gets hit three times in the face by Rocky Fielding, I'm moving Terrence Crawford back to number one pound for pound because I'm pretty much disgusted with this Rocky Fielding fight. And it makes me feel like Canelo Alvarez is ducking out on Jermall Charlo. And if he stays up there and does this nonsense, it just seems like he's avoiding Jermall Charlo to me. Right? But aside from that, back to the subject, Terrence Crawford he might as well be the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I'll give it to him. I'm not going to give it to him. He took it. He deserves it for what he did at 135 and what he did at 140. But he only has one belt. He's got the WBO belt and he's got $3 million to offer a fighter of that caliber to fight. When Danny Garcia more than likely can get the same amount of money I'm not sure what he's getting for Adrian Granados, but I bet you he's going to wind up pulling $2 million for the Adrian Granados fight. You get $2 million for Adrian Granados fight, he gets another $2 million for somebody else, gets another title shot, which he will get. He will get another title shot because the PBC got 3 other guys with welterweight belts. It's just going to be hard on Terrence Crawford getting a fight with anybody. Because Danny Garcia can say, and people didn't like it when Errol Spence Jr. said it. I didn't like it when Errol Spence Jr. said it. When he was like, told Terrence Crawford, why wouldn't I fight Sean Porter? He called it the easy route because he thinks Sean Porter's an easier fight than Terrence Crawford, and it's true. Why wouldn't I fight Sean Porter? He got a belt, you got a belt, he's got a belt. What keeps me from fighting that guy with a belt? Huh? Nothing. I get the same amount of money for beating him as I get for beating you. Why would he do it? Right? But he's talking to Terrence Crawford when he's doing it. Also, harken back to when Sean Porter, and not a lot of people remember this. When Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter were both in the locker room after Andre Ward, I think it was either Sean Porter, or it was Andre Berto, but I'm pretty sure it was Sean Porter who was in the locker room after Andre Ward beat Sergey Kovalev, and he was talking to Terrence Crawford, and he said, "Why won't these guys fight me?" And Sean Porter said, it was either Sean Porter or Andre Berto told Terrence Crawford, "It's not you, man. It's people don't want to put up with the bullshit. They don't want to put up with the bullshit from Bob Arum. People don't want to deal with Bob Arum." Sean Porter told him. I'm 99% sure it was Sean Porter that said it, and not Andre Berto. But it was one of the two. The only reason I'm thinking it might have been Andre Berto is because Andre Berto is always in and around Andre Ward. But see, that's the two sides of the coin for me. On one side, Danny Garcia is definitely guilty of that. From what I can see, Danny Garcia is definitely guilty of not taking fights that he doesn't think he can win. He did it with Errol Spence Jr. Blatantly did it with Errol Spence Jr. And he had already said something to that effect about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. a couple months ago when he said that Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford need to fight each other because neither one of those guys has fought Sean Porter himself or Keith Thurman. So you knew that was coming. But and yes, the PBC fighters are hesitant to fight are not jumping in line to fight Terrence Crawford. But the other side of the coin is that Terrence Crawford put himself in that position where people could use that excuse. If it is an excuse, it's not even really an excuse, it's a fact. Now, if he was the only guy over there and they were desperate to be able to get to Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford had all the belts, then yeah, hey man, hungry dudes do things, man. People that don't have the option to make multi-million-dollar fights, yeah, they're gonna go find a way to deal with Bob Arum. They're gonna find a way to, to do whatever they gotta do so they can get a couple $1 million in that bank account and make that fight happen. But that's just not the case with all the welterweights. And Terrence Crawford knew that before he decided to become the face of Top Rank on ESPN, get his $3.5 million guaranteed, and make it. You know what I'm saying. But Danny Garcia is looking bad in that regard. And the PBC relative to Terrence Crawford, they're looking bad. But I have a suspicion that they're going to be okay and swallow it and keep on moving. But it is what it is. And with that, hey, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And with that, I'm out. Peace.